Hey everybody, it's Bill Slocum at NC State University, and in this video, as part of an introduction to the National Park Service ArcGIS Online for Organizations webinar series, and this video is about sharing your content with others. A little housekeeping: neither the National Park Service nor NC State University endorses or recommends any commercial products, processes, or services. This material may not be used for advertising or product endorsement purposes. This material is intended for educational purposes only. Neither the U.S. government nor NC State University warrants or assumes any legal liability or responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or usefulness of any information, apparatus, product, or process disclosed. So, sharing your content with others in ArcGIS Online is very easy to do. Now, there are some design characteristics you have to think about and consider. If you just want to share an app, and in an earlier video, I created a basic viewer web app. If I want to share that with people, I have to not only share the app, I have to share the map and those hosted feature services that correspond and make up my map. Because remember, services are used to create maps, and those maps, web maps, are used to create web apps. Now, when you share, be very, very careful with this. When you share with everyone, that is the public, anybody not in the National Park Service but has access to ArcGIS Online would be able to discover and use your data. So be very careful. It's not a good idea to share with everyone until you talk with your compliance officer and your regional GIS coordinator. Perhaps they can help out as well. But you can share with the National Park Service. And in my videos, you've seen where the Lands Division has shared a park boundary web layer of all the park unit boundaries. You can share with National Park Service, or you can create custom groups. And I've created a custom group just for demonstration purposes only. So let's get into how to share my app. All right, so the first thing, of course, you want to do is log into your National Park Service ArcGIS Online for Organizations account simply by navigating to https://nps.maps.arcgis.com. So let's go ahead and look at that. I'm already logged in. You can see I have my content here. I have my content. I am in a folder because I like to compartmentalize all my work and store my work in folders. So here I have some demonstration data that I have used to create a Colonial National Historical Park base map. Let's take a quick look at that. Now, you can see I don't have any terms of use in here, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that. I'm going to copy the National Park Service GIS distribution liability statement, and I'm going to add that in there, and I'm going to save that. Whenever I find content that I do not have this, I like to make sure that I have this terms of use. I also need a better description. There we go. So you see I have these layers. I have documented these layers because remember, to share an app, I not only share the app, but I have to share the map and the underlying layers. So I've written down my custom layers here, operational layers. You might hear people say that in other videos. I don't need to worry about these topographic hillshade maps. Those are already shared by ArcGIS Online. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to look at my kilometer markers, my boundary, my signs, my culverts, and the things that make up, or the items that make up this web map. Let's just look at the layers. So you noticed that I had the kilometer markers, so I'm going to share that feature layer. I also had interpretive signs that are along the paths, the trails, and the motor roads, tour roads within the park. I've got culverts. I'm going to select the culverts. I have my trails within the park. And I also have my boundary layer that I have as a hosted feature service. You'll notice that these are all locked. They're not shared with no one. That's what that lock means. I'm going to go to the share button, and I'm just going to say access. I want to only share with a particular group, I'm going to come down and click my NER Northeast Region ArcGIS Online Instructional Videos. I click that, and you can see that it's only shared with that group. I have not shared with the entirety of the National Park Service, and I am sure not going to share with the public. I've only got this particular group. Now, group owners are made by individuals within the Park Service, and you can be a member of that group. Some parks have a web-based group here that they have all of their base data in, and they share that with everyone in their park, but they do not share it outside the park. So that's what you could do here. If I wanted to share with just the Northeast region, I could choose just the Northeast region, and only individuals in the Northeast would have access to that. So I'm going to put it under my instructional videos, and I'm going to say OK. Now you'll notice this icon has changed here. It said I am shared with a group. Now I need to share that map and that app. So how do I do that? Well, I could simply go back to my content here. You notice you don't see it because I've got a filter. I'm going to clear that filter type. And I am actually going to be sharing, you guessed it, that base map. You notice that it is locked. If I go to share, I can go to access, and again, I can choose just the group that I would like to share with. So that shares my web map, and that shares my feature layers associated with that web map. Now I want to share my basic viewer. I could have done all of this at the same time, but I simply wanted to show you this individually. Now, ArcGIS Online is smart enough to know that if you share a web app and you don't have all of your layers, your feature layers, or even your web map shared, you will get a message noting that, and ArcGIS Online can actually assist you and share that content for you. But I'm doing it all the manual way so that you can see how that works. Now I have all of that particular information shared with the group. So I've got all of the content associated with my basic viewer web app shared with that group. Let's go look at that group. What does that look like? Well, here are all the groups I'm a member of, and if I scroll down to my Northeast Region ArcGIS Online Instructional Videos group, this is a closed group I created for this instructional purposes, just to show you. Now, you'll see here that I have only that content that I just shared. Let's go down to a table view here. I have shared with my NER, ArcGIS Online Instructional Videos group, all the layers associated with my web map, and all of the content, including the web map and the hosted feature layers, are shared with the group. And only the members of this group, and I've got my colleagues here from the Northeast Regional Office and my buddy Roland from URI in here, so only these members of this group would be able to access the group content. It's that easy to share. You can share with everyone. Don't do that unless you have the authority to do that. But you can share with the National Park Service overall, and you can share with custom groups like I've done here. Alrighty, thanks a lot, and I hope you have a good day. And remember, share it with only the folks that you would like to have. You would like them to have access to your content. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.